25%. That is the percentage of seniors who suffer a hip fracture and are dead within 1 year. Not 5 years, not 10 years. One single year. And the terrifying part? Millions of seniors are doing a safe exercise every single day, believing it's preventing this, when in reality, it's the #1 movement that leads to that catastrophic fall. Today, I'm revealing the one safe exercise you must stop doing immediately, and I'll give you 5 simple, science-backed movements that are proven to build stronger, more fracture-resistant hips. No gym, no special equipment, and you can do them right in your living room. And stick with me to the very end, because the #1 movement is so gentle and so simple, you'll think it can't possibly work. Yet a study in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research shows it can increase bone density in the hip by up to 3% in less than a year. The exercise you must stop immediately is the standing side leg raise. You know the one. You stand, maybe hold onto a chair for support, and lift your leg out to the side. Doctors, physical therapists, and fitness magazines have been prescribing this for decades as a safe way to strengthen the hips. They are dead wrong that it's not just ineffective, it's dangerous. Here's why. When you lift your leg to the side, a small muscle on the outside of your hip called the gluteus medius is supposed to fire. But in most seniors, this muscle is already weak. You lean your entire torso to the opposite side to lift the leg. This does 2 things. First, it completely bypasses the very muscle you're trying to strengthen. A study using EMG sensors showed a 70% reduction in glute medius activity when this torso lean occurs. Second, and this is the critical danger, it puts an immense shearing force on the head of your femur, the ball of your hip joint, inside the socket. You're grinding it laterally instead of stabilizing it. Do this thousands of times over months, and you're essentially loosening the joint, weakening the surrounding structures, and priming it for a fracture. You are practicing the exact motion that leads to a devastating outcome. Now, let's replace it with what actually works. Number 5, the chair power-up. This isn't just an exercise, it's a life skill. The ability to stand up from a chair without using your hands is one of the single greatest predictors of longevity and independence. A study in the British Medical Journal followed over 3,000 seniors for 6 years and found that those who could perform this movement more than 10 times in 30 seconds had a 40% lower risk of all-cause mortality and a 60% lower risk of needing assisted living. Why does it work so well? Because it's a perfect example of functional strength. It's not isolating one tiny muscle. It's a coordinated effort that fires your quadriceps, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your core, all the muscles you need to prevent a fall and get up from one. Research from the Mayo Clinic showed that the sit-to-stand movement increases gluteus medius activation by 58% more than the useless side leg raise, but it does it safely and in a way that translates directly to real life. How to do it? Find a sturdy, armless chair. Sit near the front edge. Cross your arms over your chest so you can't use them for help, keeping your chest up and your back straight. Lean forward slightly and push through your heels to stand up. Then, just as slowly, lower yourself back down. If that's too hard, start with 5. If it's too easy, do it slower. The slow descent is where the real muscle-building magic happens. Number 4, the hip hinge shield. This movement teaches your body the single most important pattern for protecting your hips and back: how to bend correctly. Most seniors bend by rounding their lower back. This puts incredible stress on the lumbar vertebrae and does nothing for the hips. The hip hinge is the antidote. A study published in the Journal of Biomechanics found that mastering the hip hinge reduces compressive forces on the lumbar spine by up to 50% during lifting. More importantly for our topic, it dramatically improves the strength and coordination of the entire posterior chain, your glutes, hamstrings, and back muscles. A strong posterior chain is your built-in anti-fall system. A 20-year study from Kyoto University found that seniors with strong posterior chains had a 32% reduction in fall risk and reported significantly less hip pain. Why it works? It retrains the hinge at your hips, the way your body is designed to move. Keep your legs almost straight, with a very slight bend in the knees. Without bending your back, push your hips straight back until your torso tilts forward. You should feel a stretch in your hamstrings. The pillow or your hands should slide down the wall. Push your hips back to the starting position. Do 10 reps. This teaches you the feeling of a true hip hinge without any fear of falling. Balance isn't static, that it's dynamic. It's your body's ability to constantly adjust and readjust. The dynamic balance shift trains this exact skill. A clinical trial from the University of Sydney tracked two groups of seniors. One group did standard static balance exercises like standing on one leg. The other did dynamic weight shifts. After just 8 weeks, the dynamic shift group improved their single leg stance time by an average of 5.7 seconds, nearly double the improvement of the static group. They also saw a 20% improvement in their gait speed, which is a key predictor of future disability and hospitalization. Why it works. This movement forces the tiny stabilizer muscles in your feet and ankles to fire in a coordinated way. These muscles are the foundation of your balance. When they're strong, they send faster, clearer signals to your brain about where your body is in space. It's like upgrading your body's GPS from a blurry 2G signal to a crystal clear 5G connection. How to do it? Stand with your feet about hip-width apart. Slowly shift all of your weight onto your right foot. Slowly shift back to the center, then repeat on the left side. That's 1 rep-do 10 on each side. As you get stronger, try to use less and less hand support. Number 2, the stability walk. This exercise looks a little silly, but its effects are profound. It directly targets the two most important muscle groups for ankle stability and for preventing the two most common types of falls, a fall forward and a fall backward. Research in the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation showed that seniors who practiced heel and toe walking just 3 times a week strengthened the tibialis anterior, the muscle on the front of your shin, and the gastrocnemius, your calf muscle, by over 15% in 12 weeks. Why it works. Walking on your heels isolates and strengthens the muscles that pull your toes up, preventing your foot from slapping the ground and tripping you. Walking on your toes builds powerful calf muscles, which are essential for propelling you forward and for catching yourself when you stumble backward. It's a 1-2 punch that makes your lower legs incredibly resilient and stable. How to do it? Stand next to a kitchen counter or a long hallway with a wall for support. Step forward, placing your weight on your right heel, with your toes lifted off the ground. Take 5 steps like this. Then, without stopping, roll forward onto the balls of your feet and take 5 steps walking on your toes. Go back and forth for a total of 5 to 10 reps. Keep your hand on the counter for safety, but focus on the muscles in your lower legs doing the work. And now, for the final secret. This is the one that could change everything you thought you knew about bone health. Number 1, the 2-inch lifesaver. They've been told for years that squats are bad for their knees and their hips. And deep, heavy squats with bad form can be. We're doing a micro squat, just 2 inches down. And this tiny movement sends a shockwave of strength-building signals throughout your entire body. Remember that study I mentioned in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research? One group did nothing. The other group did low-impact, progressive resista.